Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. We're glad that you could join us today. I'm going to introduce you to something that I call the 75-25 rule, renting your home in the villages. This is a strategy that I use when I'm renting out my properties in the villages. A little bit about myself. My name's David Anderson. I am a landlord in the villages. I have owned in the villages since July of 2021. I do long-term and short-term rentals. My day job, I'm a real estate brokerage owner with 200 agents focused on residential real estate and investing. So what is the 75-25 rule? Well, quite simply, we understand that the villages is different than most rental opportunities. There's three distinct seasons in the villages. There's the very specific peak season, a very specific off-peak season, and then there's shoulder months. The peak season is January, February, and March. Those are the 3 months where the snowboards are there, and that's when you're going to get the most amount of money for your rental is the peak season. The shoulder months are before and after the peak. So December and April and sometimes May are the second biggest time period to get money from renters in the villages. So December, April, sometimes May. The non-peak, all the rest of the year, June, July, August, September, October, November are the slowest rental months. And we're going to sort of see how that works in our strategy. The goal in the peak months, or 25% of the year, is you need to cover 75% of your expenses. So these are goals. So 75% of your expenses will be covered in the peak months. In the shoulder months, April, May, December, you need to cover 15% of your expenses. And in the non-peak months, the rest of the year, you need to cover 10% of your expenses. So let's give an example of how that would work. Let's assume that your expenses are $24,000 per year. Now yours is going to be different, but just let's assume $24,000 a year is your cost to keep your house afloat. Your goal is to cover 75% of your annual costs in the peak season. So 75% of that $24,000 is $18,000. So your goal is to make sure that you're aiming for $18,000 January, February, and March. The shoulder season is 15% of your costs. So your goal is to cover 15% of the costs in the shoulder months of December, April, and May. So $3,600 is what you need to sort of reference for those 3 months. And then the non-peak months, the other 6 months, your goal is to cover 10% of your annual costs. 24,000 equals $2,400. So the way that works, the totals are the peak months you want to bring in $18,000. In the shoulder months, you want to bring in $3,600, and the non-peak $2,400 for a total of $24,000. Of course, these are goals and these are things that you can strive for, but do understand that you may not get to the peak month number that you want, which is okay because there's lots of room in the shoulder months and the non-peak months to make up for that. So in conclusion, go big in the peak months. Make hay when the sun is shining, because that's when you're going to get 75% of your expenses paid. If you don't hit the goal 100%, you can make it up in the shoulder months or the rentable months, the Augusts and the Julys, that type of thing. The rest of that year, the 6 months that you're not making the 75% and the 15%, you're only making 10%, you can make a profit or not in those 6 months. It's really up to you and how you structure it. So hopefully this will allow you to make some decisions on where you put your pricing for the coming year. And best of luck as a landlord and as a homeowner. Take care.